name is Fredrika von Morstein. I'm going to be telling the story of when I immigrated to America and why. Now, all stories must start at the beginning, so that is where I will start. My beginning started on December 7th, 1831 in Heidi, Schleswig-Holstein, Germany. Fast forward when I was 21 years old, I married John Christian Gross. I fell in love with him and we had a happy 11 years of marriage with 6 children: Frederick, Paulina, Joanna, Christian, Adolf, and William. However, Adolf died at an early age. John soon became the mayor of Haiti, but that happy chapter of my life ended when John died. His funeral was October 7th, 1864, John in a coffin and a baby in my arms. 3 years later, I children know why. It was 1868 and I had to face the facts. I was a widow in my late 30s with 5 children. My opportunities were scarce. There was little to no money. My brothers offered to help out financially, but I refused. There was America. The free land beckoned me. I made my decision to emigrate to the United States. I could be a German teacher, so I sent my children off to relatives' houses until I earned enough money for them to sail to America to live with me. I arrived at Ellis Island and immediately saw how different it was from Germany. This made me homesick, but I had to be brave for my children. I was surrounded by people all different colors, races, and they spoke different languages. We were all so different and yet all had the same dream. All of us were squeezed together with no personal space. I could smell everyone and the stench made me nauseous. We were shuttled around like animals. The officials were shouting at us and I felt like cattle. "Ma'am, come over here!" I hurried over and told them my name and where I came from. All of us cattle were told to go upstairs where our health test would begin. I was surprised when they didn't milk me. The room has the tallest ceiling I had ever seen. Surely I was in a castle. I was the Queen of America. Next was more waiting before I could give my information. Countless hours of waiting and an occasional movement. Other people were crying as they faced their own problems. Everyone was scared, everyone felt hope and hopelessness. Finally, they took me in and asked questions and questions. Stupid questions, I thought, but finally I was in America, a citizen. I was free, and tears rolled down my cheeks. To my disappointment, I discovered I was not adequate enough to teach German. My English was not good enough. I lived in a tenement in the city for small rent, and for the first few months I did worthless jobs that paid little just so I could stay out of the streets. Then my luck changed one night when I was stumbling around, depressed, homesick, and starving. And then I came up upon a Christian church, the services. One night, the Reverend Mr. Erdman came up to me and asked if I could become a missionary. A missionary? Where would I go? I can't go to China or Africa. I have a family. I could never leave my family. But he explained to me how they needed Christian workers in New York City. German immigrants with good backgrounds were crowding around the Lower East Side, lost and bewildered. It would require a year of study at a special school. I was distraught. How could I do this to my children? Leave them for a year, not earning any money to send them over. Finally, I accepted. I knew I had to become a year of practice, work, and study. I was under full-time work under Olivet Chapel and New York City Mission and Tract Society. In 1871, Paulina and Joanna, 11 and 9, crossed the ocean on the SS Westphalia. Poor Paulina had seasickness the whole ride over. Then in 1873, William and Christian headed over. It was Christian's 9th birthday. I had finally achieved my goal. I had life work and established home, and all of my family was with me in the free land of America. Although the rents were high, I could be proud that my children never went to bed hungry. For the remainder of my career as a missionary, I continued to help the immigrants of Germany and stayed in New York City. I wrote the stories of all the people I had helped in a journal. August 1887. During July and also the first parts of August, the weather was very trying. Sickness and suffering were prevalent, and the close air of the tenement houses was like a heavy load on the health and bodies of the poor. I found a widow in a small room which was overheated and filled with steam as she was trying to finish washing the large bundle of clothing for a small payment to get bread for the children. We ask, "Where are your children?" Looking around, we see 3 or 4 little ones barefoot with only a kamesh to cover their bodies, lying on the floor with heavy eyes and hot faces, trying to chase the flies away, which in great numbers are troubling them. Mrs. Wiedemann, 285 Broome Street, does washing for her support. The family once had a large bakery in New Jersey. The father was a hard-working man, and the 3 children, 2 sons and a daughter, had a good education. Later, the daughter married while the sons remained at home. Their business was flourishing. One of the workers in the bakery grew angry when he was to be discharged. He planned revenge. One night, the house was on fire. Front and back stairs burned at the same time. One son and the father perished. Of the latter, all that was found was one arm with a bunch of keys grasped in the hand. When the sad news reached the daughter, she became insane and later died. The surviving son, who was never well after this catastrophe, also died. Poor Mrs. Widman's body shows the scars where she was burned, and her feet are crippled. She found a sweet comfort in our church. The call for Christmas will still keep her warm. Everything that is done in the world is done by hope. It is difficult to say what is impossible, for the dream of yesterday is the hope of today and the reality of tomorrow. Fear cannot be without hope, nor hope without fear.